There's a lot of money that's being diverted from furthering actual website accessibility and going into the pockets of vendors who aren't really doing anything to make websites more accessible. So it's just a lot of money wasted. And I continually see two things in my inbox, and I have to tell people, you just wasted your money. I mean, when I say wasted your money, you may as well have gone in the front yard and just thrown some money on the grass and let the wind blow it away. So, one thing is with website accessibility audits. What typically happens is people are enticed by the lower prices of some agencies and they hire them to do an audit. And so, with an audit, you ideally want someone to manually comb through your website and identify accessibility issues that are found on your website so that you can address them in the remediation or fixing of your website. So, that's what an audit is supposed to do. But what typically happens is a website owner will pay a reduced price, let's say 1,000 or 1,500, somewhere along those lines, and which is less than the typical going rate. And so what will happen is they'll pay that money and they'll get back a report, and it looks good to a website owner. They're probably not going to know the difference. But here's what's happening: they're only getting back a curation of free automated scans. Now, these scans are good scans. You may have heard of website accessibility checkers such as the Wave browser extension or the Axe Core accessibility extension. And you can install these browser extensions in Chrome or Firefox, and you can get a free uh, automated accessibility report that details the different issues that your website may have when it comes to accessibility. So all these agencies are doing is they're taking these reports, they're making them look nice, and they're putting them in a PDF and they're giving them to you. They have not gone and manually audited your website, which is what really needs to happen. You need to have someone actually looking over your website, and because accessibility isn't something that you can fully automate. You can partially automate it, and the typical benchmark or what's typically thrown around is that scans can catch about a third of accessibility issues, but about two-thirds cannot be caught by a scan. So that should tell you right there why it's so important to have someone that's actually manually going through your website, and that's why it costs a little bit more to get an accessibility audit. Sadly, people are getting stuff that they could readily do for free in a few minutes. It doesn't require a lot of technical knowledge. You just have to know how to install a browser extension and then activate it. And so, sadly, people are paying $1,000, $1,500 for that. You can get the scans yourself right now for free, and those will be the automated scans, which are good scans. The information found in those scans is highly useful and relevant as a supplement to an accessibility audit. But to have a full audit, you need to have someone manually go through your website. So that's number one on how people waste their money. But the worst one, the one that I die inside when I hear people tell me that they went for it is when people buy into the instant accessibility, the fully automated solution to accessibility, which absolutely does not exist. There's no way that you can fully remediate a website uh, through automation right now. It's not. It doesn't exist, and don't believe any of the artificial intelligence stuff. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. There's nothing that can make you fully accessible, fully ADA compliant, fully 508 compliant, fully in conformance with WCAG 2.0 AA, fully in conformance with WCAG 2.1 AA. That is a lie. It's not true. It's a lie. I don't know any other way I can say it. It's just not real. But there are vendors out there of what are called overlays, toolbar overlays, widgets, plugins, apps, maybe software. I'm just trying to think of all the different ways that they term their uh, their supposed solution. But either way, it's an automatic. Um, it's something that you install on your website, and it supposedly makes your website automatically accessible, which again is not the case. So when you pay someone for that overlay, that toolbar overlay, and what happens is you'll get a clickable icon, and it'll open up into a toolbar menu of supposed accessibility options, And those options are supposedly what makes your website accessible. They do not. You have to manually remediate your website for accessibility. You have to address it at the code level. You have to address it inside with the content. And so it just requires someone going through it. And that's why it is typically so expensive to remediate your website for accessibility. But these vendors of the overlays, they tell you that accessibility can be automated, and it cannot. It simply cannot be done. And I'm telling you, there's nothing. It's not a matter of artificial intelligence. Don't fall for that. Don't buy into any of the sales pitches. Don't believe in the social proof. I know that there are numerous reviews. You will see different people that are supporting different overlays, and they'll say that they really do provide a great solution. I'm telling you right now, website accessibility cannot be automated, not fully automated right now. Is there possibly a hybrid solution? Possibly, but you really need your website to be fully remediated, and there has to be someone that manually remediates it and goes over it and edits it. And that is, I don't know how to say it any other way. So when you buy into these automated accessibility plugins, toolbar overlays, you're getting back something that's worthless. And not only does it technically not work. So right, you're not making your website accessible, but some of you might be thinking, well, at the very least, it will stop me from getting a demand letter or lawsuit. So why don't I put that in the meantime, and then I will look at this later on down the road and decide whether I want to make my website accessible. People with these overlays installed on their website are being sued right now. This morning, I was reading through the lawsuits, and I went and I looked at the websites, and the websites have the accessibility icon, and they're supposedly fully compliant. They're fully in conformance with WCAG. No, no. And the plaintiffs' lawyers are seeing right through that now. And so what we're going to see is more and more lawsuits where the overlays are installed, but nothing, it doesn't matter because the websites are still inaccessible and everybody's figuring that out. So that's why it's important not to put your money towards these. Even if you're paying less money, you're paying for nothing. So your money's just going to waste anyways.